Have you ever found yourself saying, oh my gosh, I can do so good on my diet or with my eating all day long, but the moment I come home or at night, I just freaking lose my shit? Well, by the end of this video, you're gonna have a step-by-step framework to know exactly what to do to stop late night snacking and how to actually prevent cravings, urges to binge eat late at night altogether. Hey guys, if you don't know who I am, my name is Kelsey. I am a certified personal trainer and yoga instructor. And after suffering for 18 years with yo-yo dieting, binge eating, binging and purging, I finally found recovery. I am now on a mission to share the nutrition, the habits, the mindset shifts you need to finally stop obsessing and feeling out of control with food and rediscover the best version of you. Tip number 1, eat enough. Now, I know you may be thinking, what do you mean eat enough? But think about it this way. A lot of people who struggle with binge eating or overeating, especially at night, they may wake up the next morning feeling bloated or feeling maybe even guilty or shameful about their behaviors or about the amount of calories that they consume. Well, they end up overreacting or trying to make up for all of those calories that they ate. Unfortunately, what this does is it kind of just keeps that binge restrict pendulum going back and forth. If you want to learn a little bit more about that and how to stop binge eating altogether, make sure that you visit this video right here. But what ends up happening is if we don't eat enough throughout the day, we'll come to the end of the day feeling famished, feeling ravenous, and we won't be able to make as good of decisions as we would otherwise. So this is why I'm a huge proponent of using the hunger fullness scale. And if you don't know what that is, I have a free downloadable scale in the comments below. Basically, it is a scale of 1 to 10 rating our hunger and our fullness. And I highly recommend that we choose to eat throughout the day whenever we have gentle feelings of physical hunger, like at around a 3 or 4. For me personally, that means I get kind of cloudy in my head, maybe a twinge in the back of my throat. For others, it can be a slight rumble in their belly. But we want to eat at that point because now we're able to make conscious decisions. We're able to eat mindfully. Whereas if we wait all day to eat, what can happen is by the time we get home, by the time we're done with work, we're starving. We're at a 1 or 2. We have fatigue, we have a headache, we're just freaking hangry. And at that point, we no longer care what we're eating or how we're eating. We can eat really, really quickly without allowing ourselves to actually feel our fullness. Eating enough throughout the day means that we're having adequately sized meals with protein, fiber, and fat. Fiber to help us stay full and satiated now, and fat and protein to help us stay full and satiated for up to 3 or 4 hours. We want to have enough food in each of our meals that we leave feeling warm belly satisfied, knowing that we sat down for a really nourishing meal, and it's going to help our body and our brain register that we ate. So again, at the end of the night, we're not just shoveling whatever is most convenient and most available because we're just starving and don't care anymore. Tip number 2, eat mindfully. Really take your time to make a conscious decision about dinner. Really make sure that you're plating your food. Again, that it has protein, fiber, and fat. We eat first with our eyes. So make sure that you're making dinner an experience. Really looking at your food and understanding what portion sizes are there on your plate. Make sure you're smelling the food, that you're actually tasting the food, that you're actually chewing the food. A lot of times, I know it sounds simple, but a lot of us don't actually chew our food very well. And that's a huge step in proper digestion. So for me, I sometimes just choose an arbitrary number like 16. And I just make sure I set my fork down in between bites and I chew my food for a good 16 times, making sure that I'm really mindful about what I'm eating. I'm not distracted. I work really hard to try when I'm eating to just eat, to not be watching television or YouTube or scrolling on social media, just trying to really focus and enjoy my food in the moment. This allows me to slow down, become aware of my satiation or my fullness cues, actually let my brain register that I've eaten. That also brings me to tip number 3. If you are struggling to feel that fullness cue, I have a lot of clients able to to recognize and understand the hunger cues and what those feel like, but it's still difficult to start feeling when satiation takes over, especially if we've been used to eating really, really quickly. So tip number 3, drink water. Water is amazing. It helps us stay hydrated, it gives us energy, can be useful with appetite control and helping us recognize our fullness. So make sure just have a glass of water before your meal and possibly a glass of water after your meal, and just take a moment and really pause and check in. Am I feeling full? Do I really want more? And if you still feel that you may want more, you're just not quite sure, or you're feeling that kind of itch to keep eating, then tip number 4, go for a walk. This is one that I absolutely use in my everyday life. I've actually gotten into a pretty big habit of going for like a 10 to 30 minute walk after every single one of my meals. It's just something that feels really good. It helps to aid in my digestion, and it just helps me reconnect with my body. Well, the biggest thing that going for a walk does, especially after dinner, is it gets you out of the kitchen. It puts a little bit of friction, a little less easy to just keep on eating. I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form that you can't go back and have seconds, that you can't have dessert, that you can't still eat. You absolutely can. All I'm saying is take a little time out, take a little walk, and see if maybe that helps that kind of urging and craving and almost autopilot behavior, and instead go outside and make this your new autopilot, make this your new habit, because it allows you to disconnect from the food and reconnect with your body, reconnect with you and how you're feeling. And I promise, even a 10-minute walk may help you realize, oh wow, I actually am full. I actually did eat enough. I also really enjoy walking in the evening because it's a beautiful transition to let me know that the day is done, dinner is over, and is now time to unwind and start preparing to go to bed. Which brings me to tip number 5. Ask yourself, take a moment, and before you keep on eating, just take a pause and really ask yourself, what do I need right now? What is it that I'm feeling? For me, a lot of times when I would keep on eating late at night, it was for one of 2 reasons. Number 1, during the day, it's sometimes easier to be good on our diet because we're distracted, we're busy, we're on the go, we've got lots of things going on. But the moment that things kind of slow down at night or the kids go off to bed, it can become quiet, which, while on one hand can be nice, on the other hand, that quiet can be uncomfortable, because all of a sudden all of these uncomfortable thoughts that we've kind of been pushing off to the side and been distracted from now come to the forefront of our mind. And sometimes in order to numb or to not deal with those feelings, we turn to food. So take a moment and ask yourself, what is it I feel right now? And what is it I need right now? Am I feeling anxious? For me, it was like a disappointment in the sense that I didn't accomplish all of the things that I had set out to do that day. Is it that you're tired? A lot of times our body is just trying to tell us it's time for bed. It's time for rest. And a lot of times we end up reaching for food because we're fighting it. We still are trying to get things done and trying to finish projects late into the evening. Because we're tired, we end up turning for food for energy instead of just taking an opportunity to pause and recognize that the day is done and that the absolute best thing you can do in this moment, come up with a plan to unwind and get ready for bed. Because I promise you, if you can find a regular time to go to sleep, and if you can stop fighting, I was like this. For some reason, we can have that kind of lull in the afternoon and all we want to do is take a nap. But then the evening finally comes and it is our time to get ready for bed. And I don't know about you, but periodically I would turn into like a 2-year-old throwing a tantrum, and I'd just be like, but I don't want to go to bed. Meh. Honestly, that's all that my body actually needed in the moment. Please make sure that you're prioritizing sleep. If you'd like to learn more about sleep and how vitally important it is and the role it plays in weight loss, in balancing our hunger fullness hormones, your overall health and wellness goals, please comment down below and I'll be sure to make a video on it and how you can have better quality and more quantity of sleep. But also, guys, I'd love for you, comment down below. If you were to pause and ask yourself this question, what do I need right now? what would some of your answers be? And if it's to unwind, what are some things that you can do rather than turning to food to unwind, feel relaxed? What else could you do that would give you that same feeling? Could you turn on some light music? Could you light a candle? Could you lower the lights? Could you take a bath or a hot shower? Maybe sit with a book. I highly encourage you to turn off the electronics so you don't have that blue light and all that stimulus. Take some time to consciously unwind and start preparing for bed. And I promise you, this will have an immense impact on any sort of cravings or urges you may have to eat late at night. If you guys found this at all helpful, please give it a big thumbs up. It does amazing things for this channel. Also, please be sure to share this with someone if you think it may help. And be sure to subscribe, guys. I come out with new content every Tuesday and Friday with helpful tips and mindset shifts to really help you rediscover the best version of you. And until next time, guys, may you be happy, healthy, and fulfilled. Mwah.